So I'm so pleased today to be joined by Nelson Karun, Star Diamond's recently minted full-time diamond specialist. How are you today, Nelson?
Very good. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Now, I've got a few questions today for Nelson, but then we'd love if the audience had any questions as well. So in that bottom right-hand part of your screen, there's a little chat box. Please do feel free to ask any questions of Nelson that you'd like, and we'll try and cover it once we're done the formal Q&A part of this event. We're really hoping today to cover Nelson's role in the company, his history, and what he's excited about working at Star Diamond. Any other questions, I'm happy to get you in touch with the Star Diamond exec team, and they'll get in touch with you as soon as possible. But let's get started. So, Nelson, I got a good number of questions for you today.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'm curious first, because I work with people all across the mining sector. I'm curious what initially drew you to the world of diamonds, and how has your kind of passion for the industry evolved over the course of years?
Yeah, good. Let's say, I was in the right place at the right time, and I found myself within the industry. The diamond industry is glamorous and fascinating, and I quickly became fascinated about it. Similar to any snowflakes, every single diamond is different and have a uniqueness. Every single diamond is very unique. And when I start with the Arbor Diamond, which is initially 20 years back, it was a small company, but over the time, it grew into Harry Winston, Dominion Diamond, which enabled my career advance very quickly. I was exposed to every level within the industry and had an opportunity to learn and gain knowledge about entire pipeline, which is mine to marketing. I'm proud to say became a diamond expert. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's certainly a lot sexier than copper or tin. No offense to people who work in those industries. It's got a bit more of an exciting vibe to it. Now, I know we did our homework on you, and my understanding is you got a really extensive experience in diamond sorting and valuation. So in the past, you've been entrusted with overseeing the appraisal of parcels for feasibility assessments and for controlling the annual production of diamonds worth led to believe billions of dollars, with a B. So I'm curious, with all that experience, can you share a particularly challenging project or moment that tested your skills and knowledge as you've been going through it?
Right, that's a very good question. So diamond valuation and sorting is very challenging. Every day is challenging. And every day with different challenges with its own uniqueness, because every diamond is different. The diamonds needs to be carefully analyzed for the precise valuation. I put the right value for it, price for it. So which needs years of experience and market exposure to know the everyday market, how is changing, evolving, and what's happening out there. So this skill, the whole diamond valuations, sorting, and all the skills, you cannot learn in the schools or anywhere else. You have to be in the market day to day and export to the market and gain the experience. And throughout my tenure with Dominion, I was involved in appraising various exploration samples and for feasibility studies and so on. So one of the example I can highlight is Point Lake project, now owned by Burgundy Diamond, which is when I was with Dominion, I am the one evaluate the project, and it was very challenging, but it's successful, and now is ready to produce soon in the production stage. with burgundy diamond. Then other challenges I can tell you is when I was with Dominion Diamond as a director for valuation and sorting. I was spearheading the transition of diamonds from Toronto to Mumbai, India. And during that time, I was managing, as you were saying, billions of dollars annually. And it's about, say, 10 million carats, the annual volume was. And so I was doing the full transition from diamonds to technology and training people in Mumbai with various background, various skills people who were very new to diamond industry. So I trained them, same time managing the production and sales. And it was very challenging, and the toughness was, same time I'm doing the transition and working with sales VP and making sure I'm preserving the value of the diamond, which is the sales people always wanted to be opposite direction.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So it was, very challenging.
That's a tension for sure.
Right.
So I have one question. I mean, given your experience, obviously, like you said, you're a diamond expert, and with that range of experience in a fairly niche industry, presumably afford you a number of career opportunities. So I'm curious, what made you want to join the Star Diamond team specifically?
Right. There are a few reasons. The foremost reason is the $4 coin project. And it is the biggest, everybody knows it's the biggest undeveloped project in the world currently. Yeah? And the samples I analyze excite me, and they are very incredible sample. Mostly they are, most of the pot, they are white goods, majority more than 50%. And if I can say, collection color is D to F with the GIA, standards. And type 2 stones are more than 30% or up to 30%. So also I seen some fancy yellows, rare purple in the sample, and these are the smaller bulk sample or the drill samples. And if you are seeing these kind of fancy and the color white goods and stuff is very rare, and that's really good. The production is going to be. Another reason is, last 2 years, I'm working with Star Diamond with different projects. So meantime, I build the relation with the staff. It's a fascinating, fantastic team here. I built the relationship. And the other reason is the city. It's Saskatoon. It's a small, growing, beautiful city, and I foresee a lot of potential, and a lot of talented people are here. So these are the reasons I'm here.
That's a good answer. The Rock's the team in the town. Sounds good.
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't know you had purple ones. I'm gonna avoid telling my wife she'll want one.
Yeah. It's purple, and also it's there are some browns I see which lead to purple. Sorry, not the purple, pink. Right. And the type 2 stones is it's incredible. It's the the production will be the production, but we need it in the future. That's in here.
Yeah, it's the diamonds of the future. I like that.
Right.
Now, your role at Star Diamond, as I understand it, it's going to involve completing a pretty in-depth valuation exercise on the Star and Orion South Diamond parcels. Could you walk us through, in as much detail as you're able, the process of conducting such evaluation? What factors do you consider? How do you ensure accuracy? How can you make sure it's reliable? All that stuff.
Yes, that's another very good question. Obviously, it is a long and detailed process. Rough diamond valuation methodologies used reverse engineering metrics based on the polished prices. Its starting point is the market price of the polished diamonds, which informs the estimated price that the rough is expected to fetch once it's polished, based on the characteristics and the yield from the rough stone. And then we do the deductions are made to the polished price, reflecting the direct cost to polish the stone. For example, labor and other shipping and other costs related to the manufacturing or the polishing. Polishing of the cost of the rough. This reverse engineering metric produced the price is we come up with the initial one. It's called baseline rough baseline price. Then, in addition to the system, take into account rough market sentiments that may reflect the direct relation between rough and polished transaction prices, which we call the rough trading price. But to ensure the accuracy and reliability, the price book is built adapting the GIS standard classification system, which is 4C. The color, carat, and cut, and clarity, and and also the price book I'm building it for Star Diamond is going to have 18,000 price point, which will be the most detailed price book in the world. It is going to be very detailed price book, and the prices for the price book will be based on majority of the prices will be based on Rappaport price, which Rappaport they release it every week, end of the week, every Friday for the police prices. So as I said, it's as a reverse engineering will be calculated back into the rough. And some degree of the market prices will be, built into it.
Yeah, no, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Just for people in the chat, I know the questions are coming in. I'm just going to ask Nelson a couple more questions that we've got planned, and then we'll get to yours in a few seconds.
Yeah.
This is a question, and you tell me if this is kind of a silly question, but it's one I've just always been curious about, and I know some of our investors are too. It's a two-part question. How important is it for someone to be able to sort and grade a diamond? And here's where, call me silly, I don't know. Do you literally look at every single diamond to be able to evaluate it?
Yes, for this kind of like a feasibility studies or sample analysis or this kind of study, we look at every single diamond. That is important to get the detail and again to get accurate price, and because it's importance of it, right? And it's take a few years of experience. The person who doesn't becoming new diamond person, right? So for example, if the new person comes in to prepare him or her to become a production sorter, we call it, it takes at least 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a long time, and depend on the person, his skill and how much interest. It can be even more than 3 years sometimes. Is as I said, like 18,000 price points we built into the price book, right? And for the sample valuation of the feasibility study purpose, literally a single stone. Yeah, as I said, like accurately value. We looked at, I will look at every single stone for this project. Yes.
That's a labor of love for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got one question. This is, I assume, for all lay people in the audience, but what makes one diamond more valuable than another? And could I, for example, get an eye for what is a good uncut diamond, or is it only with years of training that you're going to get the eye to see what's good and what isn't?
Yeah. The diamond value is based on, as I said, like before, like similar to 4C, it's based on size, shape, color, and clarity. So one diamond will be valued more than other, not just based on the size, but also based on all other details and its uniqueness, right? So that's why, as I said, like for this study purposes, I will look at every single stones to be, accurately assessed and value, right? And if it's like an uncut, like rough diamond, if it's laying there, if someone can, say is it a good diamond or not? Yes, they can by looking at the color and the model of the rough diamond. You can probably just say is it a good or not. But in order to really see it, you need a hand loop to look at the internal structure, right, to really get the value and really get the value. Yeah.
Oh, makes sense. I got one question left, but there's one from the chat that I think now is a good time to jump into, just because it's a fun question. So if you got the number off the top of your head, I think it's fun. Sure. Doug asks, what's the highest value Canadian diamond that you've ever personally valued?
I looked at if they know Divik, it was a light fancy stone. It's called Dancing Sun. That was, I think, 2.5 million.
Oh.
Yes, and there are a few big ones we produced from the Divik and one from Kati during my tenure there. I think from Kati we had $12 million stone one time.
Wow.
Yes.
How many carats is, let's say, the 2.5 million, the dancing stone?
That's 254 million. It was light fancy. Yeah. Sorry, 254 carats.
Right. Wow. you don't hear that number very often.
Right. It came from the 500 carat diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wow. Okay. So like I said, there's still a number of questions in the chat, but there's just one more that I wanted to ask, and it's really specific to Star Diamond. So looking ahead towards the year we got coming up, what excites you the most about the future of Star Diamond Corp and the potential of the Star and Orion South Kimberlites? And kind of as a corollary, how do you see your role evolving as the company progresses towards its goals?
Yeah, I'm going to say a little bit, detail on this. So probably everybody has to listen to it.
No, that's what we're here for. Go for it.
Yeah, I foresee busy years to come with lots of excitements at Star Diamond. For now, is my top priority is asserting accurate pricing. That's the foremost important one, and I'm thrilled to be here to complete the update resource estimate that will become soon. And then continue with the pre-feasibility study, within next, few months, right? After resource estimate. Then I'm, anticipating this project to be very simple. Even the goods, everything is very similar to Karovi project in Botswana. If you guys know Karovi one, right? Considering high percentage of types 2 stones in the sample and the characteristics of the stones and size frequency is very similar to Karovi. And I'm excited to, produce and I'm excited to see this mine will produce exceptional very large stones, like more than 100,000 carat stones going to come, based on the characteristics and the type to the percentage in the sample. And for me is by just looking at the sample now, I would say probably the average average value during the production per carat can be between 500 600 range, and it can the exceptional stones, larger stones, more than 100 carat stones alone can bring 50% of the production revenue. Right? And but the issue that, or the not the issue, even though I can distinguish these larger stones out there, we are unable to include these larger stones into the valuation or pre-feasibility study due to the fact that we can only use the samples for these estimates and the feasibility study. Yeah, and interesting observation is that the feasibility study only the calculate up to 10 carats. We don't use more than 10 carats. So all these the exceptional stones, larger stones, are not included. Is in the MPV or IR calculations. These doesn't even considered. So when I compare the average prices again, $4 con to Karovi mine, this can be, I would say again, like between $500, $600 per carat range, right? And I noticed there are, significant number of fancy yellows, which is I used to work when I, with the Dominion. If you guys know, Misri pipe produce lots of fancies. That's the one of the reason Burgundy bought Ekati mine, right? And in the $4 con sample, there are significant number of fancy yellows there. Purple, some purple diamonds in there. So, as I said, and before, these diamonds going to, bring millions and millions of dollars to the project, right? And I'm very motivated and very, excited to see these, exceptional stones going to come, and I'm going to work with them. That's, other reason I am here. And then, my dream and that my role will evolve into further deep involvement in the polished diamond and the marketing. But, for now, there are a lot of work to done here. For example, the pre-feasibility study, and then, so the production, sorting arrangements, GDV arrangements, and the sales. There are a lot of, jobs to be done in the coming years, right? So it's going to be busy, hard work. That's
seems like they're keeping you busy, Nelson. It's always
busy.
good news.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's lots coming up. No, but I appreciate that answer very much, and I'm also looking forward to seeing what Star Diamonds got on this year. But there are some questions from the chat, so I'm just gonna throw a couple to you. Obviously, only to the best of your ability. If you don't have an answer, I'll make sure that the exec team gets back to these question askers. The first one is from Doug. He wanted to know that over the 4 years that Rio Tinto was on the project, he wants to know what the largest stone they reported finding and analyzing over that 4 years was.
Rio Tinto, I think 16 carats. There are a few 40, 50 carats, but I don't know which ones Rio reported. That's, they had to ask the management, Jojo.
No, fair enough.
Right.
He's also curious from the chat of what, and this is to the best of your knowledge right now, what the revised value of all the star/shore diamonds is.
The revised value, I just started, doing looking at the stones and building the price book, as I said. So it will come soon with a pre-feasibility study, I think, or even before that. Yeah.
Oh, makes sense.
Right.
One question, I actually had a similar question is, I didn't know these other stats that he used, but I was curious why there's an 18,000 price points for the diamond value, because he notes in the chat that De Beers used fewer, government valuators used fewer. So why that 18,000 price points number?
The reason is to get, again, the accurate value and more detailed value. The reason is this is a sample value. We are working with a smaller sample volume, right? To be more confident and get the very precise value, I would say, because when you when you start producing and doing it for production, you can minimize it. You can roll back into the groups, and you can get the value that way, because during that time you may not need very detailed pricing.
Oh, appreciate that.
Right. And you when you are in the production, your goods then, right? So it's more producing than doing a feasibility study, right? So that's the reason. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rock in the chat wants to know, are there any AI kind of automated evaluation tools for sorting and pricing diamonds? Do they exist? Are they accurate? Is it technology somebody's working on? I was just curious.
Probably there are people working on, but currently there's no AI pricing. But there are few online price books. You can use them. But I'm not sure those are good for a feasibility study or this kind of purposes, because again, those are based on the market pricing, and that's the reason. Our price book, I'm building it here more with a more reliable source, Rappaport pricing.
I think for now you're still a lot better than the AI. Nelson, they haven't quite come for your job yet, the machines.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I only have time for one more question. So I'll throw a last one in the chat. Anybody's question I didn't get to, or if you have additional questions, please do send them in, and I'll make sure that the Star Diamond team gets back to you as soon as possible. Last question to poke around in just before we jump for the day. How many actual diamonds are you evaluating? If you have a precise number, great. But if you have an estimate, that'd be good too.
For this purpose, it will be thousands. But there are there are projects that I even looked at millions of diamonds.
Sure.
Right, but for the $4 coin, probably I will look at all the samples, every single stone. Those are in thousands.
They're certainly keeping you busy, Nelson, which is good. Good to stay busy. Well, honestly, this was a great chat. Thank you so much for joining us today. For everybody in the room, this event will be it has been recorded, so we'll be able to send you the replay soon. You can share it with anybody who missed it. But Nelson, thanks so much for sitting down with me today. This was fun.